Hey, wait a minute. Do you have a purple scarf on? Where is your earring? Yes, I see. It's in the right place. Any pimples? Fortunately not. Earrings work, but pimples don't. Your hair? Well, mediocre. There's still something you can do. How do these shoes look? Yes, they are trending. Fingernails? Look okay. Friends? Okay, well, a little boring, but at least you stand out a little bit. And I'm bored. I look for a partner everywhere. Wait a minute. Do your friends walk with their legs apart? If so, I can't do anything with you. Okay, lucky. One just moved. Yes, coming through the checklist has a few snacks. It's okay. I need some time with you for the other 99 pages of my checklist. It may be that you will be the right one for me to fall in love with. I think we could see each other a bit, and then we will see. A quickie never hurt. For more, you have to be perfect, 100%. And what I've seen so far isn't. And I look in the mirror, and I see I've got something there, and something here, and have something there. Nobody sees it but me, because I'm picky. And behind and in front, I always have something that I can skip. But I won't reveal that otherwise. Otherwise, they would know that I am one of them. After all, unlike most of the people here, I have nothing to complain about in my body and life. Because I can get to 90 pages of my checklist. I don't fill only 10 pages. I know, I'm not perfect. That's my problem. But more perfect than others. And for another 10 pages, I do something immediately. And if I can do something, then everyone else can too. And I think we've arrived here on Earth to be perfect, nothing else. And if that's not there, then I wouldn't know who I am supposed to be. Without that thought of being perfect, without that thought believing that I'll find someone who's perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Question. Does that even exist? Now let's be realistic with each other. How do we want to achieve that if perfection basically doesn't exist? Should I tell you something? You're not looking for perfect. That's what society programmed into you with advertising and parents' education, because they either want your money or as parents, they haven't learned better how to fuck themselves the way they are. That's why they couldn't accept you being rhythmically connected to yourself without perfection. It's not that common on this earth to be able to accept others. Please don't get me wrong. It's not your fault that you have to be perfect. It was implanted in you and you will never reach it. You are 100% looking for something different. But you may not be aware of that when you try to ride the street on skis or on a snowboard. Stay with me. This is Joypun.k. And I'll give you what you need. Because you're not looking for the perfect on the outside. You're looking for the perfect inside. Don't you believe me? Of course, because you're still surrounded by certain beliefs in your head, my friend. Who want to make you believe that what's around you right now is the only space where you can get that perfect feeling from someone else or something else, from things you can buy. You are in your world, in your bubble, and you are looking for the perfect feeling in other things outside of yourself, instead of taking responsibility and working for this perfect feeling yourself. I understand that. I've been there myself, and sometimes I am still there. I still get some things from other people because I cannot create them myself yet. But the difference between us is that I feel perfect about it because perfectionism only can be created by your inner world. Why do you think your songs, your poems, your art, your designs, your drive in the awesome car, and so on, are awesome? Because you feel horny inside yourself. Have you ever been driving your fat car when someone you love died? All of a sudden, the car doesn't give you a perfect feeling anymore. Because the car can't give you the perfect feeling. That's coming from your inside work. A vase, a wall, a gallery, a vacation at the beach, a car, a friend, a pair of pants, a scarf, etc. will not make you feel perfect. They can help you feel more perfect because you choose to think differently, to feel new when you have that. All of this can help you make a new decision and say, I'm falling in love with you or with these things now. But they have nothing to do with you being able to feel love for them. It's stupid to think like that in the year 2022. We are waking up now. People who think the old way, who believe that their partner or the other things are responsible for your inner work, won't be happy in the long run. Looking for someone to do your inner work so you can be happy in life will forever keep you poor in love. And you really don't want that, do you? The people who tick like that will continue to screw up because it is irresponsible when we keep clothes, when we keep opinions, tastes, people, machines, etc. as a checklist. Especially if we have been unhappy with this checklist for years now. That's a sign. Hello? Let's wake up now. The checklist will not open your heart to love. The checklist is like a steel wall that you put up around you. So we don't have to open our hearts because we're afraid. You are afraid of intimacy. Pure fear of pure intimacy. You are afraid to surrender, like everyone. You are afraid of letting go. You are afraid to jump. You are afraid to open up and show your true colors. You are afraid not to fulfill your deepest desires, not the superficial ones, but the deep ones, because then you would have nothing more to complain about. You're afraid to show who you really are if the public doesn't match it. If your work doesn't give you status, if your network doesn't give you prestige, if your grades and accomplishments don't show what a tough guy in the garden you are. Who are you without your clothes, without your bling, without your houses, without your cars, without your friends? What are you? Who are you without all of this? You don't know that because you were taught to be dumb, so you don't have real power. Do not get me wrong. You have power with everything you have accumulated. But what happens in the next crisis if all of this could go to waste? I'm talking about the power of knowing who you are when everything is on fire and nothing is the way it used to be. Then who are you, my friend? I know it, but only to the extent that I know myself. I'm just as stupid as you. No false modesty. It is understandable that you prefer certain needs, superficial desires, certain opinions and tastes. That makes you unique. You don't like every music, every song, every genre. That's understandable. Having tendencies is totally normal and totally okay and nothing to be ashamed or sad about. You accept it. Okay. But imagine saying no to every single song that has been played to you for years. I do not like it. Next song. No, next. 50 years later. No, next song. Dead. Rest in peace, my friend. We tried. Imagine you are still searching for the perfect song today. Although you have so many possibilities to have already found the right song, or even playlists, because music is playing everywhere in this world. No matter where you go, there's music. My friend, it's not the songs that you don't like. Your problem is you. You pretend to be listening, but you've built walls inside to keep the intensity out. You don't want to open your ears to listen because you're afraid of yourself. You don't give in. You don't open your senses, your heart, the thing in your chest. You've closed with steel walls. Since mommy and daddy or the kids treated you badly, so you don't have to cry anymore. Because the others thought it was embarrassing to be you. And you go with the flow so much that you've become their follower, my friend. You believe them and you don't open your heart anymore. You break your acceptance of yourself just for others to pat you on the back, kiss your ass, and pay you like a whore with their money. You've sold yourself again, my friend. Imagine you have a villa with 200 rooms, and all room doors are closed. You sit in one shitty room to work because it turned out perfect. All other rooms are closed because you think that's all you can move right now. Have you given up? You have a villa with 200 rooms. You close all the rooms and sit in that one perfect room for years, where everything is exactly as it is on your checklist. This happens to you when you're on a checklist and cannot decide on a song. You can't choose one person. The whole room is full of notes, full of sounds, full of melodies, but you're still looking for more because you have to have everything perfect. A flaw in the other, a flaw in another, and because you cannot quite grasp the depth of life yet, because you only memorized for good grades, or you do what your boss says. Do it like this, do it like that. If that doesn't work because you have to make that one compromise with people to say, hey, you do something for me. Because I feel happier when I get up and go to bed daily thinking of you doing that. You do a lot for me there. And that's why I accept you with these quirks that aren't perfect about you, because I'm happier with myself since I've known you. And that has a lot to do with you, but the most to do with me. This is what you say or think when you open your heart for everyone. And if you still couldn't find the perfect song for you today at your age, then you have a problem. Not the music, not the others. Then the problem is definitely yours. High standards are okay, but you cannot really identify them on the outside, but rather in their behavior. And the feeling that you can responsibly create around this person with your thoughts when you are in the room with them. That's what it's all about. Your inner work. Not the nose, not the mouth, not the fingers, the size, the cock, the bottom, the length, the labia. That's not the point. It's about that perfect feeling that you don't want to feel because you're going to shit your pants just thinking about it. You're afraid of feeling pure, intense joy. You're afraid to let intense fear in. You're afraid because love will change everything, because it will explode you, around you, and everything inside you. You are afraid of this explosion. It's called expansion, because after that everything will be different, better. But this is so unknown to you that you don't own a plan. Love will shake things inside you that you didn't even realize were there inside you. You didn't know. You have no idea. Because you can memorize what is dead. And because you think that checklist in your head is love. Suddenly this structure, the system that you called the I, is no longer really realistic. That one perfect room that matches your checklist you're in right now. Even though you had 200 more rooms to explore, you forgot. You were so busy with yourself and with this room and the checklist, and you only thought this room was the best for your imagination from perfectionism. And you don't give those other rooms a chance, even though you have a whole villa. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Do you really think that a checklist will help you? Do you really think your influence is that small? Do you really think your love is so weak? Do you really think that the other person who has mediocre hair, who has this, who doesn't have that, doesn't also feel inspired by your influence and affection to change when you let them meet you intimately, closely, personally? In time, you might find out that your kiss made the frog your prince or your princess, just like you always wanted it on the checklist. Does it have to be knocking on the front door because you're such a celebrity and such a hard worker? Can't you use a little more imagination? When you get that one sizzling feeling in someone, you should take the sizzling seriously. This is the electricity of love buzzing in the universe around you. You can feel the electricity more and more as you do inner work and feel more and more perfect every day. Then everything around you will be perfect without checklists, with its mistakes. Can you imagine that? And if you still don't want to accept the person because the shoes are dirty, or there is bad breath, or something else doesn't fit, is that all you have to offer? Do you close the 200 doors straight away and get stuck in your perfect room? Can't you believe in your authority and power to make a difference in people when you level up? When you open up the rooms and redecorate them with your presence? That is true authority. When the person next to you has bad breath, what does a real boss do? They know that anything they desire is possible. Don't you think that with a new technique of brushing teeth can help? Don't you think that if you change, people can change? When you learn to tell the person in a nice way that their shoes would look better if they were shined, that brushing teeth would be better, would make them more attractive to you. Do you dare to have authority and give people really good feedback so they can learn from your awareness? Don't you think that seeing how clean your shoes are could also inspire a person to walk around more neatly if they felt your authority more often? That person learns to dress better when inspired by your warm presence. I thought you were the boss. I thought you'd had enough experience in the world and seen what's possible for us. It doesn't matter that the person passes your checklist from the start. It's more about what authority you have and how to direct your feelings when you're around people. Why don't you dare? Because that's the love you're looking for. When you feel good and perfect, that is love. No one, no money, no object in the world can give you that because you have to take responsibility for your inner work. When you feel inside that things are exploding, your body activates and tingles and the electricity crackles in you. When you're still thinking about that person and you cannot get it out of your head, no matter what you do. And when you start to doubt yourself and what kind of life you have, that's one thing that really should be taken seriously. Because that shitty checklist you have there might even come true. It's something material. People also said in the past that we will not be able to fly, and today everyone flies by plane if they are not afraid and have the money. If you find certain character traits good or bad, even character can be changed. If there is love, everything will change. Even the character of society can change. With love, everything changes for the better. With hate and fear, and as a result, the rejection also changes. But not so good changes. And I don't mean that you get on the rocket, fly to the moon. And there you should learn to love all ETs, extraterrestrials, at once. But imagine, you've now landed on the moon with all the ETs. They tick completely differently than you and see differently than you. Without love, that can be strange and scary to you at first. Because they have completely different rules, different society, everything is different there. But you are here now. And you kind of like it there. The sphere is something else. And you're not hugging them directly. But you're watching them. What are they doing? How are they? They are somehow different. And somehow you recognize some similarities over time. And your conditions suddenly change. And your wants and your needs. And some are the same and are considered important by some ETs as well. They like that too, what you like. And you make friends. You are feeling fine. Finally away from the old, dull earth. Because you took that one step and put yourself in the rocket. To face your fear. To fly up and experience something new. But with your perfect checklist, you can keep that. You have your tendencies, desires, needs. Everything is cool. But you have to keep in mind that loving yourself and others can make everything better. Even the person who is chilling in the street in his beggar's costume, because that's part of his path in life right now. Can you respect that? If not, you're like those shitty teachers from back in the day, Because even the beggar can, at some point, like you, give the finger to anyone who didn't want to believe in him and in the power of love. The beggar today suddenly looks damn hot, all of a sudden, and have money and is cool, funny, and charming. Why? Because people have helped him over time to come to himself. People who had resources, who had time, who had heart, who had love. And if you really care that much about finding your life, your love, to be happy, then listen to your feelings. But the right feelings, and not these feelings that are emotional. That's the difference. Feelings are fluid and clear. Emotions are thoughts. When you say, I feel bad, that's not a feeling, that's a thought. When you say, I feel like someone stepped on my foot, that's not a feeling, these are emotions. These are thoughts that trigger emotions, and emotions are images and memories from the past that trigger feelings in you that you didn't name. When you feel, you say, I'm angry because someone stepped on my foot. Or I'm scared because someone stepped on my foot. Or I feel sad because it hurts me when someone steps on my foot. Do you notice the difference? Now I can see who you are. These are feelings, and you can do something with them. Because they are in you. If you are now standing in a room with someone, they have walked through the door in your villa with the 200 rooms that are closed, and they will find you in your room, which is so perfect. A homeless man walking in, imagine. He thinks, wow, I go in there. It has a celebrity glow, and other 200 rooms don't seem as busy. Nothing lights up except darkness. He even comes in drunk. Totally annoying situation, right? Risky situation. Risky guy in your eyes. Because you never put that on your checklist of how life and human beings should be. What is that shit? And now he's opening the door to your room. As I said, he's standing in front of you. And the stinking homeless man with bad breath is scaring you. You're angry. And you are sad. Because you didn't protect yourself better. Understandable. Okay. Now you can be a little boy, be a little girl and say, Can you? Kindergarten, teenager. Okay. But if you want to be a grown man now, a grown man, a grown woman, and get out of your perfectionism, you do get up. You are still scared, you are still angry, you are still sad that something like this is happening to you. Totally okay. The question is, do you want to pull yourself together like a grown man or woman who's done the inside work and sort things out like a boss, like a true authority? Hey, this is my villa. What are you doing here? Why do you just come in like that, even though I didn't invite you? Who let you in? Where do you get the right to invade my privacy? And then he answers you, I'm sorry, you're right. And he unpacks his story, so you have a template to put yourself in his shoes and empathize with why he had made such a tactless, risky decision. You listen to his story and recognize parallels to your own bad times in life. Or you say directly, I'm sorry, I can't make time for you, it's okay. That's not a rejection. Because you show him love by loving yourself. And you kindly tell him. But then you can have sympathy for the person. You can say, I'll either give you money to take with you so that you can wash yourself, get new clothes, or you get my shower here. And then you leave after you washed yourself. It's normal that you help yourself and others. Because you have compassion. Compassion for chilling together on this earth, on this planet Earth. That's being adult. This is adulthood. As an adult, you have a checklist, your tendencies, desires, needs, but you don't act like a child. You are out of that age. You accept that this person is at this point in their life right now. And if you really care about that person smelling better, looking better, then you put your true authority in your hands, show your power, and help them. You give him some tips, eye to eye, from friend to friend, from human to human, not because you see yourself as above, but because you are them. Or do you lie to yourself? No, you want to be honest. So that the person has feedback and can improve his behavior and knows from your feelings how it all affects you. You say something like, I'm afraid I have to embarrass you now. I think it's good that you're here. You seem like a nice person, but your mouth smells bad. You can do something about that. Then you have even more charisma in my eyes. And you mean what you say, because you are open. Now the other person knows how he or she affects you with their breath. Of course, all of this is embarrassing, but now the other would be pretty stupid not to want to do anything about it if they want to have more charisma. That's grown up. We help each other with that. And suddenly, your 200 rooms open up. Individually. If something like that happens more often. Because you notice this one room, this perfect room where you are staying right now, it's getting too small for you. Because your authority increases. You want to experience more than that. You want to experience more at once because you open up. And when you open up, the other 200 rooms open with you. Because you want to see what you can do with the other rooms at once. And briefly, if we fast forward your life, you look back later and think, how could I have chilled in this one small room for years that I thought was perfect? So if you really want to find the love of your life, if you want to go to bed happy and wake up happy, that's love for yourself. If you really want to open up to others, then you are able to feel true love and fear when she or he is in the room with you, because everything inside you will explode, because you will feel good, because the human being uses their energy to plant something in you that activates you from within and makes you heal something you cannot get out of you once it touches you. That person is on your mind, even though they have dirty shoes or bad breath or misbehaved. Just doesn't completely match your perfect checklist. But the perfect feeling you've created doesn't care about that condition. Because love believes in change, because love is change. Love changes everything. And if you want everything, you have to change. And when you change, you show yourself that you have love for you. And if you can even take the feedback from others, no matter how embarrassing it is, and process, transform, and interpret it into your own version, apply it in your own taste, then you change with the feedback, with the attention, with the love of the other. And all of a sudden, you might not be doing exactly what's on each other's checklist, but you're getting close to something that the other person likes too. And so people grow together because they are open to each other. So man suddenly makes friends with the ETs on the moon. In the beginning, he has no other choice. He has to open up if he doesn't want to die alone. People today have so much luxury, so many choices that they stagnate and stay where they are without checking it, till love is sent all at once, all of a sudden from the universe, from God, from a parcel carrier, from the bird, whoever is sent for your belief system. And then those who are open and ready to feel that are at a point making a new decision to be open and receptive. Do I put the checklist in my pocket now? Do I get up and open the other rooms of my villa? Or do I stay in this one little room that's the most perfect of all, and wait for a new circumstance to develop, which could, by the way, then take decades, because you don't do any inner work, taking no responsibility. The quickest change is to stop checking out others and start checking out yourself and see what you really feel. Fear, anger, sadness, joy. Keep asking yourself how you feel about these 4 basic feelings when you are around people. Then you connect with yourself and others. Because when someone steps on your foot, it's not a feeling. This is a situation that triggers thoughts in you. and therefore makes you feel something that you don't name when you say that you are feeling bad. I feel like throwing up are thoughts that trigger memories, no feelings. I feel constrained, dislocated. These are all not feelings. These are thoughts. These are emotions. With them you won't be able to see your true love in a homeless man, although that might even turn out to be the most blatant love for you. You are blind to it because you want to fall in love with watches, and you want to fall in love with rings, and you want to fall in love with clothes. You want to fall in love with outer things. And now we come back to you. Are you ready? Now we're going to check you out. You want to fall in love with all of these things because you only love yourself through these things. And this is the problem. You wouldn't be able to stand yourself without these things, which makes me sad. And that's the real problem and not the other. It takes either balls in your pants or an outstretched chest to allow yourself to lose everything you've thought and believed for reality and start over to bring truly wholesome love into your life. Because you learn to love yourself without anything. That's an extreme example, but you'll get the gist of what I'm trying to translate from my heart. You can reduce the checklist from 100 pages to 50 pages, and then you try to get to 30, and then 20, and then 10. And eventually you can even get to 0 pages. But I don't expect that from us. Though I believe that you can do this, and maybe you teach it then to me. I would love to be taught by you. Think about that. You don't want to waste your time anymore. Until next time, Joypun.k.